Welcome back, beautiful Lightkeepers. I am so glad you're here. And today is a very special episode, and it's deeply personal. I went to Dr. Joe Dispenza retreat in early December, and just going to do a little reflection on my experience there. I got introduced to his work about 2.5 years ago because I wanted to start meditating. And I had heard about him, and I started doing his meditations, and I didn't quite understand it. And I think it was because if you've listened to any of his meditations, he does it in this interesting voice. And again, I didn't understand it. And so I did it for a while and it was good. And I listened to his books on audiobooks. But then when I went to his event, it all came full circle and it was beautiful. His technique is basically kind of like hypnotherapy. And I learned that he was a hypnotherapist, which makes absolute sense. He gets you into a trance so you can get to the unknown and get out of your mind. That sounds like a little silly to say, but get your mind out of your body and just to be one and to basically surrender and surrender to all possibilities. To kind of break it down, so I arrived the day of the event. Some people like to arrive the day before so you can integrate and you're not just hustle bustle from traveling and you can just kind of get into the flow. But I chose to do the other and it worked out fine because it starts with an evening reception. It's kind of like an introduction. You meet people. I had a beautiful roommate. She was so fun. Shout out to Molly. We had a lot of things in common and then a lot not in common, but it was such a beautiful match, and I'm so grateful to her. I was a little hesitant at first. I thought, "Ooh, do I want to do a roommate?" I probably haven't had a roommate in my oh my gosh, probably 35 years. I don't even know, to tell you the truth. And it was the best thing ever. And I think she agreed. We complemented each other really well. And it really was kind of an added benefit. So if you're thinking about going to a Dr. Joe retreat, consider having a roommate. For me, it wasn't really necessarily a financial thing. It was, I don't know, I listened. I got moved to reply to a post and it worked out perfectly. So just go within, maybe meditate on it. Meditate on. Do you have a roommate at the meditation retreat? That sounds so silly. But yeah, I think you know what I'm saying. So it was on my list to go ahead and attend one of his retreats. And I didn't really even know what it was all about to the level of what it is. And 2.5 years ago, I would not have been ready. I did attend like a workshop, and that was almost 2 years ago. And that was really beautiful. So it was a taste of his work. But the bottom line, the whole thing that he really teaches us is to truly live in flow, live in your life purpose, your soul purpose. You have to live in the present moment. And to live in the present moment means not to live in the past, not to live in the future. It's truly being present. Because when you're truly living in the present moment, that's when you hear the whispers, that's when you see the signs, and that's when you manifest. And it can be challenging today to not live in that present moment because, if nothing else, we have all kinds of things grabbing our attention. And as you remember, I've done a special episode simply on energy, which is your energy is your biggest commodity, it's your biggest asset. So when I say that, I'm basically meaning, let's look at these things. Our iPhones, it's constantly dinging. I know I get caught up in it. I'm looking at, oh, did somebody respond to my Instagram post? Did I get likes? Oh, Facebook, do I have any messages coming in? Oh, and now I have so many different apps. I have the WhatsApp. I have people from all over the world on WhatsApp. Telegram, I think I'm on 6 different groups on Telegram. Oh, Facebook. Everybody has their mode of how they communicate with you. And then there's just the regular old messenger on your iPhone. So when you think of that, and that's not even other things, It's constantly grabbing your attention. So, to be in the present moment, you need to clear out the vessel of the old habits of, okay, I wake up, I'm in my usual, I make my coffee, I have my same breakfast, I check this, I check that. You have to completely surrender to the unknown and be willing to listen to the messages. Now, some people can still wake up and do their usual and be open to the unknown. But let's go back to Dr. Joe. I might have strayed a little bit there. So his whole thing is being completely present, not living in the past, not living in the future, so you can hear the whispers, and double on that, the heart and brain coherence. So the heart and brain coherence is basically also when you're in flow. Now, as the week progressed, the heart coherence, and I had heard about it, I experienced it through equine therapy, which was amazing also. And that was like I've, I've done three things there. I did a meditation, and then I did a 4-hour retreat and a 3-hour retreat. And those were phenomenal. That was the heart. But this is a week buildup, and you're with 2,000 people, well, anywhere from 1,800 to maybe 2,200 people with the heart coherence. So basically, your heart is in coherence. It's not in fight or flight, it's in flow, and it emanates. It's so profound. So that's the other thing. When you're in heart brain coherence, then you start to just trust the universe, trust the signs, things come to you. So layers upon layers, it was amazing. By the end of the week, I mean, I had made so many wonderful friends. And let's see, 3 days later, I signed up for the advanced follow-up in March. So it will have been 3 months since I went to the first one, and I'll be attending the advanced follow-up, which isn't as long. It's 4 days as opposed to 7 days, but you skip all the kind of intro stuff and you go deeper. The days were long. I had heard this and I thought, wow, how do you do that? There were some days you get like 5 hours of sleep, 6 hours of sleep. But people also said, oh, you get so much energy, you don't even notice it. And it's so true. You eat a lot lighter. And then there's some days where you're really hungry, but you just become a light worker. And as light workers, you don't need as much food and you need lighter, you require lighter food. I drank a lot of water, I was very thirsty. So profound experience. I had a friend text me. She said, hey, did you go to that Dr. Joe retreat? How was it? I said, it was amazing, life-changing. If you have an opportunity, go. She said, did you have any life-altering, profound experiences? And I said, wow, I think probably the most profound experience was the abundance of love. Like it was just billowing, overflowing. By the end of the week, you're just floating because of all the love of all the people. There was just complete acceptance, and there's all types of people there. There's not one prototype. In fact, it's funny. There was a huge audience of young people, basically from 18 to 26, like 80. And I thought that was a lot. I didn't think I'd see one. It was so beautiful to see. And then there were from the age like 27 to 32, I don't know the numbers, but there was a big, big contingency of them. And then age 34 to 42, that would probably be the next big one. A lot of moms with young kids. I was so excited for them. They're, taking time for themselves and leaving their families and their kids, and that's, I don't mean to say leaving, but taking time for themselves. It's so important, so important. And probably the least amount were the 55 to 65-year-olds. I thought that would be the biggest contingency, but at least at this one, I didn't think there were. It'd be so fun to see the breakdown on the numbers. But if you've been having a little inkling to go to a Dr. Joe retreat, oh, I highly recommend it. He also had these coherence healings were profound. They had 3 days of them. I'm going to do a special episode on that because I had some really, really amazing experience with that. You get a special green sticker, which is you get the heart. You get that. The green heart is basically you're going to get a coherence healing. So I'm going to do a dedicated episode to that because I can't even touch on that in this one. This is just kind of super high, 3,000 feet above overview of if you even have an inkling of, hey, I'm interested, I'd like to do that, highly recommend it. Definitely sign up. It seems like what they do now, and maybe the attendance has gone down. I don't think so, but he doesn't really, I've noticed he doesn't post more than like 5 or 6 retreats up on his website at a time. But they said they're booked through 29, so that's kind of interesting. I also attended a special inner science event at the event, and that was great. He talks all about the studies and the additional research they're doing at University of San Diego in terms of the benefits of meditation and how it affects the human. And they're doing so much deep research on that. So it's a really, really great organization. Dr. Patel, he's heading it. He works with Dr. Joe. And I believe it started maybe 4 years ago, something like that. I think 4 or 5 years ago. And if you have the opportunity to see the documentary Source, I highly recommend it because Dr. Patel, I met him, he even will admit to himself he was the biggest skeptic on all of this in terms of meditation and how it can completely change your biome and rearrange your cells and all of that. And he's the biggest proponent now. So he's doing all the research. They'll take blood and super high level research on that. But just wanted to come on here. And I guess my other little note is I am so excited for 2026. Wow. 2025 was quite a year. It was amazing. It was definitely the snake year. Lots of shedding, lots of shedding. Shout out to Christy Eagleton, my current somatic coach, transformational coach. Wouldn't have been able to make it through that last year without her help. And I know a lot of people are still feeling the end of the year 9 and the end of the snake year. So I'm excited for 2026. I'm excited for the fire horse, which doesn't come into play until mid-February. So we're still got some shedding of the snake going on. But want to wish everybody a happy new year. This is when this gets dropped. It will be in the new year. And make it a beautiful day.